Welcome back to Chat Like a Native. Today, we're diving into something I think pretty much everyone struggles with at some point. You know that feeling when you're trying to network or maybe just chat with a colleague from another country and you get stuck? Just repeating those safe lines like, how are you? Fine, thanks. How are
Oh,
you?
absolutely. That "how are you" echo chamber. It
Mhm.
happens to the best of us,
Yeah.
especially when you're working in English as a second language. You're focusing so hard on getting the words right
Right, on the grammar.
that you kind of retreat into this shallow small talk. But the thing is, real collaboration, real professional success, that depends on actually connecting, building trust.
Exactly. And that's what we're focusing on today. We've dug into this and found, well, basically a blueprint, some really simple, repeatable moves you can use.
Yeah, it's a shortcut, really. It's not about suddenly becoming super interesting or having perfect English. Forget perfect grammar for a minute. It's about skill. It's about curiosity and making that connection.
And the core idea, the thing that really stood out, is that it's less about you being interesting. Right. And more about making the other person feel, well, seen and safe.
Exactly. When they feel safe, their brain relaxes. And honestly, your brain relaxes too.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
And that's when your English starts to flow more naturally. You're not performing, you're connecting.
Okay, so let's unpack that. You mentioned starting with a mindset shift because I definitely feel that pressure sometimes. Like, I need to perform.
Mm. Yeah, that performance pressure is a killer for connection. The first big shift is aiming for connection, not performance. Think of it like this. Stop trying to be the spotlight, the one everyone's looking at.
Okay.
Instead, be the spotlighter. Your job is to kind of shine the light on them, help them share their story, add your bits and small, relevant pieces when the time is right.
So less preparing my brilliant opening line
Exactly. Forget the monologue.
and more preparing to be actually interested in them.
Precisely. Be curious, not clever.
Yeah.
Seriously, a good, genuine question beats perfect grammar any day. And remember, it's gradual. You don't jump from nice weather to what's your deepest regret in 30 seconds.
Huh. No, definitely not.
Depth grows step by step.
Okay, so that step-by-step idea brings us to this framework you mentioned, the small talk bridge. It sounds like a structured way to move things along.
It is. It's the core sequence, really.
Yeah.
Think of it as 5 steps you can actually memorize. Notice, connect, ask, reveal, explore.
Notice, connect, ask, reveal, explore.
Okay, this is your pathway from just, neutral chat to something a bit more meaningful.
All right, let's walk through it. Step 1.
Step 1, observe or notice. Just see something true in the shared situation, something real.
Yeah.
It could be anything, the room, the coffee, something they said, maybe a notebook they have.
Like, wow, this room is packed. Or, that's a cool pen.
Exactly. Or that's an interesting notebook or those dotted pages.
Yeah.
Simple observation. It grounds things.
Okay, step 2. Connect, bringing in the human touch.
Yep. A warm, simple response. Appreciation, maybe empathy based on what you noticed. So, with the notebook, oh, I love dotted pages for organizing my thoughts.
Or for the packed room, yeah, the coffee break is soon.
Right, just a little moment of shared feeling or experience that warms things up.
Then step 3 is ask, inviting them in.
Mm-hmm. A gentle nudge, an open question that links back to what you both just noticed or connected on. What do you usually use for taking notes during project planning? Or what part of that last presentation did you find most useful?
Got it. Now, step 4, reveal. This is where it can feel tricky, right? Sharing something about yourself without oversharing.
Crucial point. The reveal has to be brief and relevant. Super relevant. You share just a tiny piece of your own experience or story, enough to show you're willing to share too. It gives them permission.
So, sticking with the notebook example.
Maybe something like, I actually switched to dotted pages last year myself.
Yeah.
Honestly, it made my meeting notes way less chaotic.
That.
See? Short, focused on the process, not deep feelings.
Okay, brief and relevant, matches the level. And then step 5, the payoff. Deepen.
Yes, this is the bridge itself. You use a follow-up question. But this time you're exploring the meaning behind what they shared, or the feeling, or maybe a decision they made.
Moving beyond just the what to the why or how.
Exactly. So maybe they mentioned using color coding in their notes. Instead of just nodding, you ask, what's the one note-taking trick, like the color coding, that really saves you when things get super busy?
Ah, I see. You're asking about the impact or the strategy.
You got it. You've moved from surface level to something a little richer.
That 5-step structure is really helpful. It takes away that blank page fear. But okay, conversation started. How do we keep it going? Especially if you're, translating in your head, feeling the pressure. How do you maintain momentum?
Great question. For that, we need the follow-up engine. It sounds fancy, but it's super simple. It's a technique for active listening and generating your next question at the same time. It takes the pressure off finding new words.
Okay, I like the sound of less pressure. What is it?
It's echo plus one step further.
Echo plus one step further. Okay, give me an example, like in work context.
Sure. Let's say someone says, I'm pretty new to this role, actually.
Okay.
You echo the key part. New to the role, just reflecting it back.
Right.
Then you go one step further with a question that builds on it. What's maybe one surprising thing you've learned in the first few weeks?
Oh, that's smart. You're literally using their words so you know it's relevant.
Exactly.
And the question almost writes itself. Okay, another one. If they say, I'm juggling 2 big projects right now.
Right. Echo, juggling 2 big projects. One step further. Wow. How do you decide where to put your main focus each day?
Yeah, that flows really naturally.
And you can even have a few one step further question frames ready to go. Like, what surprised you most about that? Or what made you decide that was the right approach for you?
Those are great, sort of universal follow-ups.
They move the conversation towards reflection, towards the why.
Okay, so this connects to the reveal step too, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we actually share about ourselves. How do we do that authentically, but, keep it professional, not dump our whole life story?
Yes, absolutely critical. That's where the self-disclosure ladder comes in. Think of it like climbing rungs. You share safely, and importantly, you check if they're climbing with you. Reciprocity.
A ladder. Okay, makes sense. What are the rungs? Start at the bottom.
Bottom rung, safest level.
Yeah.
Facts. Totally neutral stuff. I joined the company back in March. Or, my team works remotely. Simple facts.
Okay. Next rung up.
Opinions and preferences. Still low risk, but a bit more personal. I actually prefer morning meetings. They energize me. Or I find Slack better for quick questions.
Right, getting slightly more personal. Then?
Then you get into experiences and stories. This is where a little narrative comes in. I actually missed a deadline once because the requirements weren't clear. Notice, still work-focused about a process.
Mm-hmm. What's after stories?
Lessons and values. What you learned from that experience. That whole situation taught me I need to always over-communicate project scope.
Okay, connecting experience to a principle. And the top rung must be the deepest.
Yeah, this requires more trust. Hopes and challenges, things you're working on or aspiring to.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm working on trying to be more confident presenting in big meetings.
Right, that feels quite vulnerable.
It is. And the absolute rule here, especially as you're learning this, is take one step up the ladder, offer a small piece,
Yeah, okay.
and then pause. See if they match you. Do they offer a similar level of disclosure?
So if I share an opinion and they just respond with a fact, I should probably stick to facts or opinions for a bit longer.
Exactly. Match their depth. Don't jump 5 rungs if they're staying on rung 1.
Right.
It respects their boundaries.
That matching principle feels really key. Okay, but what if? What if I walk into a room, networking event, whatever, and my mind just goes totally blank? Happens to me sometimes.
Well, the brain freeze. Totally normal.
Yeah, need some reliable openers, like right now.
Okay, 3 categories you can always rely on. First, context anchors. Questions tied directly to the here and now.
Such as?
How did you hear about this conference? Or, what session are you looking forward to most? Easy, safe, totally relevant, because you're both there.
Makes sense. Category 2.
Process and tools. Always safe ground in a professional setting. People like talking about how they work.
Right.
What's one tool or app that's saving you a ton of time lately? Or what's one communication challenge your team is trying to solve?
Good ones. Invites them to talk about their work world without getting too personal. And the third.
The F4D plus P topics. We usually hear, hey, Fedora family, occupation, recreation, dreams. We add a P for professional projects. Focus on things they chose. What drew you to this particular field? Or what's a small work project you're kind of excited about right now?
Asking about choices gives them control over the answer. Comfortable territory.
Exactly. And once you get an answer to any of these openers, boom, activate the follow-up engine. Echo plus one step further.
Right, back into the flow. Okay, so we've opened, we're maybe using the follow-up engine. How do we consciously decide to go a bit deeper, using that ladder without being awkward or pushy? We need bridge phrases.
Yes, you need ways to signal your intention respectfully. You can't just jump. So if someone mentions something interesting, maybe a past challenge, you can say something like, that sounds really interesting. It makes me curious about how you navigated that.
Okay, makes me curious. Nice and gentle.
Or, I'd love to hear the story behind that decision. if you're open to sharing, adding that if you're open is key.
Yeah, that little phrase feels important, like giving them an easy out.
It is. It signals respect for their boundaries.
Yeah.
You could also say, if you don't mind me asking, what was the biggest takeaway for you from that experience?
If you don't mind me asking,
Yeah,
another good one, it softens the question.
definitely. And this leads right into something vital, cultural calibration.
Yeah, because deep means different things in different places.
Massively different. What's normal? Chat in one culture can feel like an interrogation in another. You need a three-check approach.
Okay, check one.
Topic, temperature. Stick to the safe zones we mentioned, work process, learning, maybe light hobbies. Unless they open the door, steer clear of salary, politics, religion, deep personal issues.
Got it. Keep it lukewarm unless invited to turn up the heat.
Exactly. Check two, depth matching. We keep coming back to this, but it's crucial. Match their level of detail, their emotional tone. If they're brief, you stay brief.
Makes sense. Mirroring their level. And check three.
Use those consent signals. Phrases like, if it's all right, or totally fine if this is too detailed, but meh. As someone learning the language and the culture, using this polite, cautious language builds huge trust. It shows you're sensitive to their comfort level.
So saying something like, I'm curious how you decided that, but no worries if that's getting into the weeds.
Perfect. You give them the out preemptively. Makes them feel safe, which, funnily enough, often makes them more willing to share.
Right, okay, so that's one-on-one. What about groups? Group conversations can be intimidating. How do you participate without either dominating or just disappearing?
Yeah, groups are tricky. The goal is to be inclusive, even with simple English. Two key moves, the loop out and the loop in.
Loop out. Sounds like passing the conversation along.
Exactly. Someone finishes talking, you quickly summarize their point using the echo idea, and then directly invite someone else in. Like, okay, so the main challenge is timeline pressure makes sense. Sarah, I'm curious what's worked for your team in similar situations.
So you validate, summarize, and pass. Smooth.
Very. And the loop in is specifically for bringing quieter people into the chat.
How does that work?
You gently invite them, often referencing their known expertise or experience. David, I know you worked on the last product launch. Anything you'd add to this discussion from that experience?
That's empowering for David, and it makes you look like a thoughtful facilitator.
Precisely. Shows you're paying attention to everyone.
Okay, let's loop back to that brain freeze moment. Any practical tips for right before you walk into that networking event or meeting, like a quick routine?
Yes. The 1-minute pre-event routine. Super simple. First, set your intention. But don't make it, I will impress everyone. Make it something like, I will try to help 2 people feel heard today. Lowers the pressure instantly.
I like that. Focus on others, not yourself. What else?
Arm yourself. Literally have 3 things ready in your mind. 1 go-to opener, like a context anchor. 1 bridge phrase, that makes me curious. And 1 graceful exit line. Just 3 things.
Okay, opener, bridge, exit. Got it.
And the most practical tip. Talk to anyone within the first 10 seconds of arriving. Get that first interaction over with. It breaks the ice in your own head.
Rip the Band-Aid off. Good advice. Okay, finally, ending the conversation. How do we do that well so it's not awkward and maybe leads to something more?
Graceful exits are key. They should be warm, brief, forward-looking, and always include a clear next step if you want one. Don't just vanish.
Okay, example.
This has been really insightful. I actually need to catch my colleague before they leave, but could we connect on LinkedIn? I'd love to follow your work on mentioned topic.
So give a reason, compliment the chat, suggest the next step. Clear.
Yep. Or, if you want a more specific follow-up, I'm heading to the next session now, but I'd love to continue this chat about specific topics sometime. Would you be open to a quick virtual coffee next week?
Again, specific and clear. Makes it easy for them to say yes.
Exactly. It moves beyond just collecting contacts to actually building relationships.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's quickly recap the main tools listeners can take away today. First, there's that 5-step small talk bridge. Notice, connect, ask, reveal, deepen. Your roadmap for starting.
Second, the echo, plus 1 step further follow-up engine. Keeps the conversation flowing and relevant, takes pressure off your vocabulary.
Right. And third, the self-disclosure ladder. Helps you share appropriately, check for reciprocity, and build depth safely. Facts, opinions, experiences, lessons, hopes.
Those 3 frameworks give you structure, and structure builds confidence. And maybe one final thought to leave people with. Remember that depth is a direction, not necessarily a destination you have to reach every single time.
Say more about that.
You don't need to force deep, heavy conversations to have real talk. You just need to show you care enough to notice some things, to ask a genuine question, to really listen. and then just try to move one small step beyond the superficial stuff. That's often enough to build a real connection.
Just one step deeper than the weather. I like that. Thank you so much. This has been incredibly practical.
My pleasure.
And thank you all for joining us on Chat Like a Native. We'll be back soon with more ways to help you connect and communicate effectively in English.